Dharmabytes is brought to you by Free Buddhist Audio, the Dharma for your life. Our work is funded entirely by donations from our generous listeners. If you would like to help us keep this free, make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. Thank you, and happy listening.
So the Sutra of Golden Light is one of the later Mahayana sutras. And I was thinking, yes, it's one of the later Mahayana sutras. It was written down between the 5th and the 8th century. And I thought, goodness me, what were we doing in the 5th to the 8th century? So even though it's one of the later Buddhist texts, it's still pretty long time ago. And the way that Sangharakshita describes this particular sutra is that it emerges out of a central nucleus over time. It wasn't necessarily that someone, sat down and thought, well, what should I do this afternoon? Well, I think it'd be good to write a sutra, and I'll just write this really long, slightly mad sutra from beginning to end. It just doesn't happen like that. It's more like there's a kind of stream or current of inspiration, even from the Buddha itself, certain teachings that are handed down orally throughout the ages that start to get written down. And as some of it gets written down, so it kind of attracts other teachings, other bits of writing. So one way to look at it will be it's quite a textured work. It's got quite a lot of different elements to it. But most of it, or the kind of central nucleus of this sutra, takes place in a dream. And it's very dreamlike in its images and language. It starts off very, very sensibly with a man with a problem who falls asleep. But then it takes us into this whole new world where nothing can be taken literally, but is very, very highly significant. And in a way, it's good to read this sutra. And in fact, it's probably good to read all the Mahayana sutras a bit like a dream. You can't try and analyze exact correspondences. It's not like taking kind of academic, scholastic look at something when you go, sometimes when people have dreams and they kind of get up and they go, well, my teeth fell out of my dream and that indicates that I'm somewhat losing control of my life. It doesn't quite work like that, actually. You kind of have to feel your way into your dreams. So your teeth are falling out. Well, what does that mean? So you're naked in the Buddhist center giving a talk which you've forgotten what it is. That might just mean that you're me. And in my dream, but what does it all mean? It's not necessarily that one thing has an exact correspondence. I was talking about dreams the other day to someone, and she was comparing it to visualization practice, where you've got to, in some way, it's like remembering a dream. If you try and think about it too literally, you just lose the dream. You can't remember it. You kind of have to set up an intention to remember what you've dreamt, and then just let the dream come through. And maybe that's a bit like reading this sutra. You've got to just set up this intention, well, I just really like to understand this sutra, and let the sutra just work on you.
We hope you enjoyed today's Dharma Bite. Please help us keep this free. Make a contribution at freebuddhistaudio.com/donate. And thank you.